Welcome to CathyDSlaught's SRC4u Zoom call for October 25th, 2021. We're here on Cathy's website. We're going to scroll down, look for this Zoom banner, and then we will proceed when we click here. If you'd like to be part of the SRC4u Daily Energy Group by Cathy, all the information will be right here. Just click through. We're going to continue on to the Zoom platform. I'm going to click to accept the app, and the call will be live.
Well, let me show you what was happening this weekend. This Wonder Click and our new upgrades are so powerful that I think it's time to simplify our manual. And I'm playing with this still, but it looks to me like we can scan this list right here. Once hit the Wonder Click first, but not first. I like to scan this list to see where we are. And then this is our result. And we want a preset cocktail. We're looking for our family members to be included today. Our home. So we're going to do that, but first, let's just, that's why I scan this first. Let's put family members. Residences, optimize, let's just click and see what we come up with. And so we're looking as we go through. Remember, I believe anyway, about 80% of the corrections would relate to our awareness. So we've got some energetic related stress. Let's peel away that. And I will enlarge this in just a second. I guess I can hit the theme box now. Hold on. Old habits die hard. There we go. So dehydration, again, we know that's significant for most of us. QiGong techniques, illness, go down the list. If you see something, and because what you want to do, at least what I've been doing, is tying in some charges with this. So we see stress related to trauma, and this is really tied in, much of it is tied into what we're eating and drinking. Pituitary, deformities, skin eruption. Now this is always interesting. Black magic correction. We're going to talk a little bit more about that today, maybe. Thyroid, connective tissue, physical, adrenals. You see, we've got some areas we can go in here and test, for example. And remember, all we're doing is raising our chi. We're not healing, not treating. Let's see, priority for chi. Get that in there. Renal charge. And there's probably more than one. Let's look. Nope, don't need it. Let's look at liver. Oops. I'll show you that in a minute. We're going to do our miracle charge at the end. Yeah, so we'll take some stress management for the liver. And you can just go back and forth. Stimulate liver function. I like to see how long. And you can do this, whether for yourself or any group of people, just off and on during the day. Just go back and forth. You can make a little list. And so if you're not real comfortable with all these other things, we do start out with this, which is huge. And with these upgrades, and who knows what to come in the future, amazingly efficient.
Cathy.
Yeah.
When you take them and put them in on the list, out of the dogs, you take the biggest number, or
I'm looking at the most benefit when it says a good thing, like right now, with this particular stimulate liver function, we have a 68% benefit from 4 minutes. So that's the highest one. And sometimes you'll take all the way up to 10. I had someone this morning that wanted 10 minutes for the ego. And I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. Except then when it came down to the breakdown, which we're going to get in a second, then it said that the ego wanted to be protected from outside negativity. That was what was going on. And of course, we look at the ego as our computer operator. And so even with this kind of work, the ego may object because it's so used to certain energetics. And it's used to being in stress over money or health or whatever. We don't know. It's beneath the surface a lot of times. So what happens is that you can then give yourself a little bit more energetic information on that. So let's go down here. I guess I'm going to enlarge this and hope I can get it back. Maybe I will be able today. So you see now, and this is another, we know from the work on the gut, this pH is significant and we need to stay alkaline. Let's just look at stress related. And that would be a negative. Let's look at that. So let's go in here. Something now, in addition to the energy work, we need to check our own acid food consumption. And we could go in here. Priority for Qi. I think we probably will have some pH related pH charges. No need to waste our time with that. Got a little stress related to degeneration, the state then related to swelling. And if you see something in here that intrigues you, just go in here. All right, so again, we're still going here, but that'll be on the list for during the day. stress related to the throat chakra. Again, all these things you can check. There's our pancreas. Now we have that pancreas cocktail. Let's see, is that a priority? That's actually a save session. Let's see. Priority, OT, pancreas. Oops. Now you remember in our scan, we didn't come up necessarily for a save session. Let's look anyway. We don't need it. Let's look about a charge. Priority. Nope. So this wonder click is tremendous. And if you're not comfortable with doing all these other things, just do this and look at these charges is my opinion. So we see stress related to the lung. These are all things you can check further. Now, if you're working with your Pro Tools, this is where let's look at this quickly first. We see withdrawal. Interesting thing, I had my friend over Friday. We have been friends like sisters since age 17. But she's gotten real caught up in all of this political stuff and vaccination related, etc. And I was telling her about the codes. And did she want me to scan for a code for her to see if she wanted to make any changes? She said, I'm just, there's nothing that I even can get excited about anymore. I thought, well, that's a problem. Because what does it say? Without a vision, the people perish. We should have goals. We should have things we're looking forward to. I'm hoping that will change for her. Words to ponder. You can't build character and courage by taking away men's initiative and independence. Over here, ability is what you're capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do. Attitude determines how well you do it. Adventurous. Pray to. There's that ego being careless. And resistance factor here, immunity, and over here, yang. So let's see. Yay. All right. So these are all things that we can now go further with charges, etc. I'll do that during the day. But let's see, for example, and here we are still, by the way, I'm working my way down. Now we're down to an 8 to clear. We are becoming a nation of sissies and hypochondriacs, a self-medicating society, easily intimidated by pain and prone to panic. We understand almost nothing about the essential robustness of the human body or its ability to meet the challenge of illness. We're clear in that. We had a high priority, gotten down now past the 8. Let's take it down to 7. That's a long-term program that many are running.
You'll want to close that screen in the background.
What screen in the background?
You've got the theme or the options that's open.
Oh, thank you, thank you. So while we're waiting for that, and I think we can tie a little bit more of that WonderClick information in, we also want a cocktail, a pre-programmed cocktail, which of course is not one I have up. I know I have that in here. May have to inform you of There we go. Having quite a time here.
You want to control Z and it will take that out.
Yay, thank you.
Does the zipper mean a zip file?
Yes, compressed.
Thank you.
I don't know why that copy is not wanting to hold. There we go.
Do we have all this?
You will. You will. I'm redoing it. You can see in the notes I'll send out today, the list. Now we want a happy zap. We want a female balance. These are all the ones under 1,000. And let's just load. So we're set there with that. And I just want to share a couple of things from the weekend. You can see this list here. And I wanted to share with you, just if people are asking, where do you get these codes? Anything you read, if it intrigues you, go in and see if there's a code for it. Play around a little bit with it. For example, this is interesting. Character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. That might relate also to our SRC work. There's, going to go a few different ways that may not be as productive as you wish until you get this all straightened out. It says, only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. So you can go into the Grabber Boy, and let's look at that. Soul is strengthened. Let's see how we resonate. What is that other thing that's up there? Is that another?
Yes, you'll want to close that.
Okay. So let's just see how we resonate. The soul, according to Neville, is our ability to choose. And we're choosing all the time. That's much of how we create. But we may be doing it on an unconscious level, and it's not working out so well. Ambition. So if you don't care and have no goals, okay, and that's a little bit stressed there. Let's just go ahead and put that in the shun. It has the priority or the potential. Look at that potential. Success.
I see the word magic spelled two different ways.
I'm getting to that. Yeah, I'm getting that to next. Things I learned this weekend.
I know what.
Success. Okay, there we go. All right. This weekend, what I'm doing, you see I've got this startup cocktail in here. So this weekend, what started all this thing up here about magic, is I pulled up the different things we always check, the basic startup cocktail, the emotional, and the discarnate stuff. And I looked at it and I tested each one for priority to be in one startup session. And I got to one related to the Reptilian Mind. And it was 100% benefit for us to clear stress related to what referred to as the reptilian mind, which I thought, well, let me see if there's something on Scribd, and there was a document, the reptilian mind, and I'm still reading it. It is, I think, 151 pages, and I'm on page like 30 because I'm getting codes. It's thought-provoking. You know what they say true science is? Take something you don't believe in and look to prove it wrong. What this guy is talking about is quite intriguing. And I initially wasn't going to go over it with the Zoom because it's just, I don't know, it's contrary to how we've been programmed to think. But then yesterday, and I'll show you this if you haven't seen it, on Wednesday, Bruce Lipton sent out his newsletter. He did it in the form of a little video type thing. I don't know who all saw it. I'm a great fan of Bruce Lipton. And so what happened is that he, in his little caricatures as he went along, had a picture of the Garden of Eden with an alien in there holding a wrench to hack it. And I said, I'll be doggone, I'm not the only nutcase in the world. I've been saying for quite a while that we're still in the Garden of Eden. We're in a field of unconditional love, but we operate like software, and we've been hacked. And so I am going to share what I've been doing is getting some codes in reference to this and then testing it for priority for the startup session. I want to show you how that goes. So this morning, this is one. According to the book, the document actually I'm reading, many of our generals are people in the military. Not that the military is bad, that's not his point, but they are actually adepts. They are involved in Wicca, etc., and use magic. And one thing, if that is true, we don't want anybody imposing their will on ours. We are to have sovereignty, and especially when it's done this way. So what you can do, I put this in the Grabavoy, and I found a code for it. And let's just see where we are with that. We know already, as an example, they can test our brains for this. Okay, so we're going to amp that up there. They test our brains for that within about 30 seconds of watching TV, we're in a slight trance. So does that count? I don't know. So then what I've been doing is priority for startup session and putting that in there. And it's not a priority. It's just an awareness thing. And, but this, I'll tell you, that's where I learned. I sent the link for this book out to a couple of people. And that's when I realized, they let me know you need the scribe wants your credit card if you proceed. So I hope by Wednesday, I'll have some information from that. You can take it or leave it. But, what if, just thinking for a minute, what if this type of thing is what has interfered with our consciousness? According to what I'm reading, for example, traumas are triggered, etc., to keep our voltage low because people are aware, they are aware of our power, our collective power. Is it possible?
I would think so.
It's thought-provoking. And like I say, I was not going to even share that with the whole group because it's taboo, actually. We're not supposed to even talk about these things, although that is changing. And, but then when I saw Bruce Lipton with that little picture, and I'll show that on Wednesday if you haven't seen it yet, but I said, let's go ahead. So this startup cocktail, I'm glad we didn't ask for it today because it's still being added to. And so with that, let's just see, for example, priority or chi trauma charges. Look at that. So let's go in here and see what we've got. There's trauma right block. Just a 1 minute is 93. Let's see if anything is higher. Sometimes you actually get 100. Oh, wait a minute. Doggone it. Not what I wanted. Hold on. Looks like we want that magic charge too, though, which I will do. And we're going to need some significant energy directed that way. Okay, so we can take 7 minutes here. And I don't have anything else open today, but if you did, you can always go to another panel and just put your name in. Let's start with 5, and then we'll do another 2 since nothing else is open. So any ideas, any comments today to add?
Hey, Cathy.
Yeah.
One of the ladies asked about the difference between magic and magic with a K. And then,
oh, that's right. I forgot. Thank you.
No, but I'm saying Kevin wrote a website down somewhere, but of course it's so fast. Of course I can't get it. I think something magic and magic K. So I don't know. I don't know what the difference is either.
Okay, and Kevin, if you'll send me that too, since I can't see. Here's the difference as I understand it from just reading this book. The symbol for female energy is a V, and they invert it. See, with magic, everything's backwards, is what a basic understanding here. I'm no expert. And when you see that V right there, that is in terms of female power. That's one of the things, according to what I'm reading, that the Reptilian Mind, which is a group, this is not our own Reptilian Mind we're talking about here. We're talking about a separate group who has attempted to colonize the resources of the planet. And what happens is they definitely have a lot of phallic symbols and a priority on male energy. And they wanted to suppress the female, which of course we know is extremely powerful also. We want them combined. One is not bad and the other good. So I know I read a book many years ago, and it was by a female archaeologist. And she said I think the name of the book is When God Was a Woman, but I'm not sure on that. It's been a long time. But she said many of the excavations showed that the women often were in the leadership positions. It wasn't based on male, female. It was based on qualifications. And then for some reason that changed. That all changed, and pretty soon the women were subservient. And so I never forgot that book. I thought it was very interesting. Don't know if that's the exact right name, but for some reason, the female energy was suppressed. And so they say in the book I'm reading now, when you see magic with that little K, that's really the inverted B, the female energy, which magic does involve. Kevin, what can you add to that?
Well, in magic with a K, that's talking about actually performing rituals or doing something occult to have something change. But magic without the K was intended to mean something like stage magic.
Thank you.
That's what I know too.
Yeah.
What we're not realizing is the number of people that are actively involved with the magic with the K.
That's right. And there's a left-hand path and a right-hand path. And the left-hand path can be incredibly destructive, and the right-hand path can be incredibly creative.
Now, when you remember a while back, that day that Sir was shrieking, and we had some kind of a situation with negative energy, when I talked with Nina, who is very gifted with this kind of thing. She also uses the SRC, but that's her specialty, is clearing this kind of thing. She said that energy came from a gift I had been given, and I later learned that for that kind of energy to be in something, it had to be purposely done. So that's kind of creepy. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's what we've got to do with knowledge. We got to look at it, even if it's painful. We got to look at it, and then use up here. Soul is strengthened. Use our power of choice, which we can only use with knowledge. And if what I'm reading is accurate, then those who use this right here definitely don't want us to have any knowledge. They want to influence our knowledge. So it's going to be kind of wild on Wednesday, because I should be done with this by then. We're going to see what's a priority for our startup session, see if this is valid, etc., etc. I will put the link to this book in if you want me to, but you do have to, it's kind of tedious reading. I'm not going to say that it's the best book I've ever read. I'm just going through it and getting codes. So anything else?
Thank you very much for this explanation, because I have no idea either.
Well, and I'm not really the one to give the explanation, and I'm not comfortable with this.
Right.
But
yes, definitely.
Yeah. But regardless, it looks like it's time. We're ready for it. I don't think any of this stuff would come up if we weren't. So we'll just see what happens. And Nydia, did you have someone to add to the? Did you?
I do, but I do, but the problem is that you send an email saying that to send a photo to Joanne.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's optional. That's optional.
Oh, okay. Because I have no photos in that at all.
Right. No, that's optional. And the thing of it is, Ron suggested that, which I really appreciate. That it probably is more powerful with a photo, but no, it's not always possible. So
I understand that immediately. I have no idea.
Yes. Well, just send me an email with the situation. And what I'm asking for volunteers. Each week, a different volunteer to put the list in the find options. And poor Sharon got stuck because I talked to her next. Asked her to do it. So as soon as you send me that, we'll work on all these people. And then another person said, would we be receptive to doing more than just Wednesdays? So if you give me some feedback on that, if you're receptive to doing our group work at 11 o'clock. Maybe more than one day a week, I'll sure take that information.
Well, if it's exactly at 11, 10 more minutes is not going to make a big difference.
Well, you might be right. I kind of think you are. But again, let me know what everybody thinks. Just I'll send out the information from you, Nydia, for this final person.
Okay, I will.
Shoot me an email back from that and let me know.
I'll send you the email as soon as I get off.
Yay, okay. So it looks like that's it for today. Anything else? Yeah.
All right, one more question in reference to the intentions. Are you going to have the intentions on there, or we have to take them off? What's the email that you send us?
You know, it looks to me like our thoughts are what's doing it. And if we don't, we may, when you send that information out, everybody has an option to send a little energy. Those people have all given permission. And let's just look, for example, let's just test it.
Because I was just wondering about that.
Let's see, intention. Let me get back here. The SRC4 along with our group focus. Yeah, I don't know that we need it.
Okay.
But I think it is good if we possibly can send energy on our own.
Okay.
But as far as the actual group, what's that? It looks to me like our thoughts, and that is so exciting to me.
Okay.
That we as a collective are starting to realize the power we really have.
I guess I was just comparing it with what Lynn had put on there when she shows it on Sundays, when she puts up the intentions for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll have to look at that. I haven't seen that, and we can do that. But I think maybe because we're such a small group that I'll look at that.
All right, yeah. I think I sent it to you, Cathy.
Maybe we don't need, let's just say, let's do this. Intention. Not necessarily in the SRC, but just the intention. Well, I'm not getting it's necessary. Maybe I will do it. Because Lynn McTaggart is sure doing some powerful work. But yeah, Nydia, send me that one last person. We'll select and then see if we can pull together an intention statement.
Okay.
Okay. That it?
Yes, thank you, Cathy.
Thank you, Cal. Thanks,
Now
Cathy.
remember,
This concludes the SRC4u Zoom call. Thank you for attending. We look forward to seeing you again. Till then, take care and be well.